breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Hey folks, it is Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. You're listening to The Daily Ledger Show, and I am your host, Dennis Sert. Great to be here with you today. We got some good stories we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about, just doing a sound check, looking good. We're going to talk about Elon Musk raising $20 billion for xAI. We're going to talk about, quote, allegedly, 3 reasons we can't get enough of LinkedIn. We'll have to see about that. How Google got its groove back and edged ahead of OpenAI. And McKinsey and General Catalyst execs say that the era of, quote, learn once, work forever is over. So we're going to talk about all of that today. Let's get into the macroeconomic stuff. The Dow Jones is up 0.11%. The NASDAQ is down 0.15%. The S&P 500 is up 0.06%. And Bitcoin is down 1.78%, down to 91,896.50 cents. Before we get into today's material, make sure to download xAI Market Analysis, which is a financial co-pilot that tells you when you should enter and exit the market for any stock in your portfolio. It does it based off of a few things. One, based off of technical indicators. So the mathy way to look about it, economists use it. So for instance, the RSI curve, Bollinger Bands, and the MACD/signal curve. It also does it based off of news, sentiment, and analysis. Updates every about half hour or so. So it's I use it as a daily trading tool. Of course, it's not a financial advisor, neither am I, and past success does not guarantee future results. However, it's a tool I use every morning along with Robinhood. So I'd definitely recommend you go get it at xAI Market Analysis on the App Store. Of course, it's a free app, but there may be a couple of small in-app purchases and possibly a subscription if you so wish. Of course, I have that subscription, so 10 out of 10. Alrighty. Let's move on to our first story. Elon Musk's xAI raises $20 billion. The funding is part of an AI frenzy as investors aggressively plow enormous sums into fast-growing startups at sky-high valuations. Yeah. So apparently they did their Series E. So how about that? Says top investors included Fidelity. Oh, so it looks like Fidelity Investments is into AI these days. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Guess how xAI does its magic, right? Yeah, I was going through the comments section earlier, and I saw this comment. It says, I'm so confused as to why AI is so attractive. Most people are deathly terrified of it and actively against using it. How can it deliver everything these people think it will? See, the reason why you're asking that is actually the answer as to why AI is so attractive. He just doesn't understand that. See, growing up, they told me, ask as many questions as you can. And people tell you often, there's no such thing as a bad question. And I'm here to tell you the truth. There is such thing as a bad question. I walked into college thinking, I'm going to sit in the front row and I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to make sure to ask one question every lecture, right? And then one day, the professor, I was doing office hours with him, and he told me, he said, I learn a lot about the student body just from the questions that are asked. And so that told me asking questions reveals a lot of signal. It actually reveals a lot of leverage, right? So you actually don't want to be asking questions on the real. I'm not even being ironic about that, because what are you going to do after posting to a forum like this, like the New York Times comments, I'm so confused as to AI is so traffic. You're just literally saying you're dumb. Like, I'm not even talking about IQ. Like, anybody can do this. Just go on like ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, whatever, and be like, why is AI so attractive? Like, you could probably just copy paste this, put it into Grok, and then you will literally have your answer in like 2 seconds, right? And it's like, you haven't revealed any leverage. You haven't revealed any sort of like incompetency, right? I mean, you've essentially won. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like literally zero perceived effort and you know everything, right? So so yeah, so anyways, so I think there's a lot of load under Grok today, but here it goes. It's understandable to feel confused about AI's appeal without headlines with with headlines often highlight fears like job loss, privacy erosion, or even broader societal risks. And then it goes into blah blah blah. And then yeah, so it gives you a great answer. And like I said, no one like me is gonna be like, oh, what a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not just people in these comments, it's people in like other comments as well, people in real life, right? Like I said in the lecture example, just shut the fuck up. There's no problem for that. Like, quietly learn and just like surpass everybody. But it's like, people don't have to think that you're like working very hard, right? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, 3 reasons why we can't get enough of LinkedIn, allegedly. Data shows people are scrolling longer on the site. Its secret is a founding principle that curbs toxicity. Yeah, see, here's the thing, right? So this article kind of talks about how, oh, like, you know, maybe more people might be spending time on LinkedIn or whatever. First of all, X is at the top of the charts, right? So let's just get that out of the way real quick. On the App Store, the top news site in almost every country is X. So how about that? And the second thing is, most people hate LinkedIn, right? You know, you ask anybody, and it's like, LinkedIn, they call it toxic. They call it like, oh, like, I mean, it's just a big like circle jerk, to be honest. Like, I used to like LinkedIn and just kind of be like, oh yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Like, I keep my profile pretty unironic, and it's like, whatever. Like, I used to post on LinkedIn more, but over the past year, I actually weaned off of rather LinkedIn, because like, you know what? I realized everybody in there is fake. It's like, you get in there and then I'm posting some real shit, and then people are like, "Oh, I just got my new job promotion." It's like, "Okay, I don't fucking care." You know what I mean? Like, I'm just here so you can read my shit posts, or in this case, so you can watch my shit post reels, okay? Very high quality, mind you, but shit post reels, as in, you know, I just do what they say in French, n'importe quoi. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm doing on X, and I happen to like that a lot more, to be honest. So it's like, Wall Street Journal is trying to keep people on LinkedIn. How about, how much money is Microsoft funding or donating to Wall Street Journal? How about you tell me that? Okay. So anyways, how Google got its groove back and edged ahead of OpenAI. After ChatGPT dominated early chatbot market, Google staged comeback with powerful AI model, biggest search engine overhaul in years. Yeah, so it's no secret that Google has kind of made a, you know, an impressive comeback, um, sort of despite my cynicism, in the past few months, right? You know, with their image models, Nano Banana Pro, and then their just normal flagship models like Gemini 3, right? You know, at first with like Bard, which was some really, I guess that was a reference to the Bard, aka Shakespeare. Like, nobody got it. I mean, most people are just like really dumb. So it's like, you know, not the audience. I think the audience, I think we're in the top, you know, 1% of the most informed people. So excluding this audience, if you're listening to me talk about this, I'm not talking about you, okay? But I think in general, most people are really dumb. And so it's like, well, they're not going to understand the Bard. Most people are going to be like in this New York Times article comment section, I'm so confused as to why AI is so attractive. Again, I'm not talking about IQ. I'm talking about the not even the willpower. I'm talking about the ambition to like it's not even that much ambition. It's just opening up a new fucking tab and being like, Grok, why do people like AI so much? Anyways, but going back to the Google, right? And how it's kind of competing against Gemini. To be honest, so let's talk about numbers just real quick. ChatGPT's monthly active users, which I think is the most important metric here, right, is 1.2 billion. So ChatGPT has 1.2 billion monthly active users. Gemini has 650 million monthly active users. So I'm just going to get rid of the billions and stuff. The scale, it's like ChatGPT is at 1.2, Gemini is at 0.65, and then Grok, by the way, is at zero point 0.6, right? Or in other words, 600 monthly active users, right? So Gemini is still behind on ChatGPT by the most important metric, in my opinion, which is the monthly active users, right? And that count. But here's the thing. I don't trust big tech, and not in the way that you might think. Like, oh, like I don't trust big tech with privacy. That's passe. That's like so 2014, right? I'm talking about I don't trust them to innovate. Okay, like I've spent a lot of quite intimate developer time with big tech companies. Like let's call Calendly as a canonical example of big tech. I know most people don't call Calendly big tech, but let's just put it in there for a second. Like the one thing you'd want to do as a developer is book an appointment via their developer interface. And you know what the one thing they don't allow you to do is, by the way, they allow you to pull like information about the user, like their name and stuff. They allow you to get their availability. They allow a few things, but they don't allow you to book an appointment. It's like I wouldn't want to do anything else. I don't care about the user's name, really. I don't care about the user's availability. I want to book the appointment, right? Okay. It's like, oh, well, we don't do that. And I brought this up at like a virtual conference and I was like, yo, like I need to be able to do this. And then they're like, yeah, well, we'll get around to it. I was like, fuck you. And I did it myself, like, because they give away the token just real quick without getting into the weeds. They give the token, the API tokens to be able to access like their name, basic info, as well as the availability. So I just used that. And then I essentially pirated their internal appointment booking by just looking at the inspect element tab, the network tab specifically. And I just started doing it myself. And I was like, fuck these guys. But it's like, that's kind of big tech in a nutshell. It's like, they're so fat. They're like big fat cats. It's like, oh man, why don't like, the remote's all the way over there, man. Like, why do I need to go over there to change the channel or like skip the ad? No. You know what? I kind of like how OpenAI, like, despite the fact that you might think they're too big to fail, they actually, they kind of have a really big problem in the next few years of like potentially not being able to like contractually fulfill their monetary obligations because they're only making like a fifth of what, for example, the Oracle deal, where they're supposed to like pay Oracle for data centers in like by 2027, they are only making a fifth of that revenue. Like as it stands today in 2026, they're not able to pay Oracle and fulfill that demand. They're actually, the reason why Oracle got into bed with OpenAI with that deal is because they thought they're kind of betting on the fact, and most investors are betting on the fact that OpenAI is going to be able to kind of expand and fill in those shoes, if you will, and expand their revenue in the next year and a half and fill out that, and basically 5x their revenue in the next year and a half. So my point is like, they kind of have a huge chip on their shoulder. Like if they're not able to do that, like they're going to fail like on the real. Right. And it's like, despite that, I kind of like that. I kind of like it when there's a little bit of hunger. There's a little bit of, oh, dare I say it, desperation. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, then I know that you have what it takes to win. Whereas as Google, it's like, oh, you know what? I don't want to reach over and skip the ad because the remote is like, on the couch. Like, or it's both the remote and me are on the couch, and it's like slightly farther away than my reach. So it's like, I'm not even going to go get it. I'm just going to watch the whole ad. Like, that's the energy that Google gives me. And it's always given me that. So you know what? I'm still coding with Google Gemini, or no, my bad. I'm still coding with OpenAI, ChatGPT, with Codex, with 5.2 Pro, because fuck everything else. Yeah. Anyways, in general, Catalyst execs say the era of, quote, learn once, work forever is over. Okay. Yeah, so it kind of goes into this article here, basically saying how the world has completely changed, talking about how, and when they say like learn once, work forever, they're talking about the idea of spending 22 years learning and then 40 years working is broken, right? That's kind of what the exec is saying here. It's like, yeah, you know, a little bit late to the party, but yeah, you know, you got the right idea. One part of the article was what I wanted to dig deep into a little bit. It was really funny. Sternfeld says, the question that McKinsey consultants often hear from CEOs is, do I listen to my CFO or my CIO right now? Like, not, first of all, my first take on this is like, none of these titles matter. Like, it's so, every boomer I know makes it so deep. It's like, oh, is it my CFO or my CIO? Like, who gives a shit, bro? Like, I don't want to go too far into that, but I'm going to leave that there. But on the real though, why doesn't the CEO just pull up GPT 5 Pro, 5.2, whatever, Pro, and then put in their financial information? And wow, suddenly after 20 minutes of reasoning, the CEO knows much more than the CFO ever did. And why is there even a CFO? Out of there. CIO, same thing. Take any research, you just sign up for Grok. I'm actually not signed up for this, by the way. But if I was a CEO and I needed CIO capabilities, I would just sign up for Grok. It's like super heavy or whatever. It's like $300 a month. That's why I'm not signed up for it. But it uses like, you know, multiple agents at a time scouring the internet, and then it comes up with the best answer. Like, is that going to beat, or is a CIO ever going to beat that? No, he's not, or she's not. Okay, out of there, right? Like, it's like, and that's why it's so funny. Oh my God. And it's like, the reason why the boomers are losing, or rather need to lose, right? Because they're still kind of hanging on to their jobs, is like, Gen Z knows how to do it. The boomers cling to the old ways, and that's what's keeping society back technologically. It's like, it's all right. It's all right. As I've said, just take the Social Security and, you know, sit the fuck down. It's going to be okay, right? Let the new guys in here. And I'll end with this quote. Some people are looking at AI and they're noting concerns that AI could replace entry-level jobs traditionally filled by recent graduates. See, that's the problem, right? The industry's thinking about it completely lopsided. It needs to be the people who have been in there for 30 years and only check their email twice a month and work remotely the whole time and earn $200K in cash, right? Plus sign-on bonus, plus, you know, extra bonuses throughout the year, right? Plus like 50 days in PTO. It is those people who need to be fired, okay? It is not the people it is not the recent graduates who are taking the entry-level jobs. Those are the people who are bringing the AI talent, people. All right? Like, let's get with the program. Okay, I think we're going to end it there today. Kind of a heated show. But fun nonetheless. Make sure to download Byte AI market analysis off the App Store. And I hope you make lots of money out there in the stock market and minimize your losses, if any, today. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace.